Hi guys, so I came on to do the immerse in spring hashtag. I know Draven, and I took the screenshots and forget the other person that was involved in the hashtag. So to that other individual, I'll put your link in the description box. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to do things a little different and pull stuff up on my screen and read the questions instead of writing them out and all that crap. It may go a little better from here on out. Plus, I can, blow up this print a little bit better for me. So, if you see me duck out, it's because I'm reading the question off the screen. So, here we go with this. Yeah, I can see into the future with these things. I don't know if this is going to work, but yeah. Don't need tarot for that. And that's how thick they are. But anyway. So, question number 1. As we transition from winter dormancy into a spring, what is something you see in nature waking from its slumber? I went to the Dollar General last night, and I was walking over the bridge, and the trees are kind of, at that level. And I started to see the buds on the trees before the leaves come up. Of course, we normally have a good rain, and there's worms everywhere. Didn't see that this year. But they are everywhere when spring really gets in and we get one of those really good rains. The worms come out. I don't know. It may be an Indiana thing. I don't know. But I noticed buds coming up. So that was one thing, or 2 or 3 things, whatever. How do you mark the transition from one season into the next? Nothing wakes immediately, but it's given when given its proper time. How does this reflect the transition from dormancy to activity in your life? Well, you're gonna see me do this a lot because these are only for reading. There you go with the again. Trying to stop doing that. When it comes to doing the witch's blacklet, there I go again. The seasonal defective disorder is a royal pain in the ass, on top of the regular depression and PTSD and all that. So, last year I started going and walking every day when it wasn't raining. And when we have all this snow and the ground's not thawed and then all the rain on top of that, there tends to be a lot of mud and flooding starting. I mean, technically it's not spring yet. It'll be spring the 20th or 21st. I do tend to try to get out more as it warms up. Doing the Witch's Black Lent is extremely helpful during this time. I try not to, even though I know traditionally we're supposed to do shadow work in the winter, I tend to do it in the lighter half of the year, because with all of the seasonal stuff and everything, it'll just mire me down too much. So I try to do it in the light half of the year. I know I gotta do everything ass backwards, but it's just way easier for me, especially with the weather going back and forth and the sinus and the pressure and the ears and all of that. I hate it's a whole year thing. But you live in the Midwest, and it may be 68 one day and 20 the next, and it just plays real havoc with the barometric pressure changes. I think I have an allergy to that, but it is what it is. I have videos I try to do, such that which is blacklit, and trying to do those challenges, and the in memory 1692 type of stuff, and with Ostara coming up and trying to do that. So that's it there. When you are walking in your favorite place of land or piece of land, what are the energies you feel coming from the earth into you? I don't have a place here like we did in previous houses that we lived in. Living in this apartment complex that we're currently in. The park, but there's always a lot of people, and you can't exactly take your shoes off and do the grounding thing. I spend a lot of time out on the balcony. Listening to the birds and things, because when I like privacy, I try to blend in, but I like my privacy. I like taking the walks at the park. I was planning on going to the park at some point, but it rained. It was supposed to rain today, and so I don't know about that. Oh, okay. So, on to question number 4. Wait a minute. Oops. I went the wrong way. Okay. Hold on. When you step outside, what is given its proper time? How do... Oh, nope. Oops, that's 3. Oops. Okay. Number 5, I'm sorry. When you look up at the sky, what do you feel in your heart and soul? Is there a particular bird energy you connect with for freedom energy? When I see a lot of the robins around here, I'm more of a crow person, but you typically see more of those in the fall and late summer here. You don't the place that we lived at, some of the places that we lived at, you come in contact with them more than others. Cardinal, but cardinals are also the messengers. I'm more of like a cardinal and crow and raven. An owl kind of person. So, although you don't see a lot of owls around here, but I do have a lot of owls I have a lot of owls. I have a lot of owls. Don't have a lot of ravens and crows, but I got a lot of owls. So, butterflies come around, and when butterflies coming around, that usually doesn't mean a good thing. It's not a good omen around here. So, let me... Okay, yeah, number 6. As we move into the spring, the season of birth and growth, what creative projects are you making themselves known to you? How do you know? Well, as I said, I tried to do the Witch's Black Lent. I went and did some, I haven't had like the money or the resources to do crafts, so currently YouTube has been my little outlet for that. I got quite a few books that I'm going to be reading, hopefully this year. uh, but yeah, it's more like editing and doing that type of stuff, outside of the witches, Blacklint, and doing research type of things. So, um, what was it, last year I wrote a poem. I may still write a poem or something this year. I've got a lot on my plate right now, as usual. How are you feeling right now? Gentle community check-in during the collective chaos. I try to not do politics much on this platform, except for around this time of year. I do it on other platforms. I don't do it here. I'm not liking the energy. I've not liked the energy for some time. Especially for those of us that are in this community, and other marginalized communities. I don't feel that we're safe right now currently. Some people are gonna gaslight me and minimize that, but I really don't feel that people of marginalized communities are safe. And given the fact that I've done a lot of research on things like Esther and Seven Mountains and Project 2025, so and done a lot of that, so I kind of already know what's coming. So not a lot that I can do, because you try telling people, and you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So there's that. And let me see, because okay, here we go. I fixed it. Question 8. Sorry about my kids making dinner for himself. So, what message or energy does Mother Earth have today? Tap into the land and share a channeled message if you feel called to do so. All right. Well, give me a minute and I will get my tarot cards out, because that's just how I do things. Okay, so here's the decks that I'm using. I'm not gonna pull the So Below from the Book of Shadows. I'm not pulling that box back out. I'm not. But anyway, here's the decks. So I've got the Druid Animal Oracle deck. And then I have the Earth Magic Oracle. And then, of course, my Bestiary. I use that quite a lot. And then, of course, my Sacred Forest Oracle. And then I just got this one back in October. Yeah, my desk is a mess now. Yeah, it's Turn It Right Set Up. The Night Guardian Tarot. I just got that. And then of course, this is one I tend to use, this the Tarot of the Witch's Garden. And then, if I can grab the box, the Crow Tarot. So those are the decks that I'm using for my channeled messages. Okay, sorry, lighting's not all that great, but so here we have, and of course I took my notes as usual, so I don't forget anything. So if the camera goes wonky, it's because I'm doing two things at once. So with the first card here, we have talking about diversity and finding or reestablishing your connections with community and celebrating that, outside preferably. And then We have the hangman, the possum. It's upside down. It wasn't because I can't do reversals. So it's okay to self-isolate when you're feeling overwhelmed, but don't allow that energy to become stagnant, because if you do it too much, then you're going to get stagnant energy. So maybe make nature your community instead, if people are just too much for you. Like going out and grounding and with the plants and all of that type of thing. And again, the community, getting together with one person to plan, activate whatever you've planned, and sharing resources, because, more than one can get accomplished. And then, of course, the shelter. I do all that intuitively, so sorry, my hand is shaking. So that's all about, finding resources and collecting things together. And of course, you have the flowers with herbs and all those other things. So, combining your resources. And then with this card, I thought I was going to read the full messages from the Oracle, but my ears are really, really bothering me, and it's really hard to. But this is about giving yourself a pat on the back and public recognition for yourself as well as others. Giving other people that pat on the back, and celebrating whatever goals that you have accomplished during the dark half of the year, or within the last few months, during your shadow work and all of that type of thing, whatever that growth, because this is normally about the time of doing things within. So not just your goals, but whatever. So we're gonna get these together. That's upside down, because my ears are really hurting bad. So I just don't feel like doing this right now. So reading the whole book, I might try. So here we have the Whooping Swans, and this is talking about loving fiercely and reuniting and carrying memories with you, those positive memories, and looking back on that and being in celebration of, coming together again in community, reuniting. And here we have wind activation. And and with the other card too, I forgot this card. This is also too about making plans and putting that into action. That's another thing. So finding things that excite you and give you that second wind and rejuvenate you, whatever those things are, those are things that you need to be doing currently. Maybe spring cleaning, getting rid of negative energy that's been in your house, because Astara's coming up. Those things that just sort of excite you and rejuvenate you. And of course, with the summer, getting your garden ready, the seeds, implementing the seeds that you've been cultivating and planting those seeds, and doing all of that stuff, because right now we're waiting on things to this also has a lot to do with patience, because we have to wait for those things that we've planted to grow and to cultivate, so that we can utilize whatever we need during this time. Especially with the current situation, we're going to be, and this is also too about preparation, because the way things are now currently, we need to be doing a lot of, basically, this is the time of year when, you know, when things start to come up and sprout up, and then like during the spring and summer and such, we're saving for winter. So now that our resources have kind of been depleted somewhat, again, all of this about community and coming together, we need to be planning, and planning a lot earlier than usual, especially with, well, the mess that we've got going down now. And then, of course, we have the dog, and the dog is about the guardian. So this would be a time to be, you know, because the dog and the animals like this, they have a lot to do with going between the worlds, depending on your pantheon. And this is a time of receiving and giving guidance, as well as right now, this is a time where you need to be kind of renewing all of your protections and wards within your home. Especially now that we're having a lot of herbs and such, and things that are going to be naturally available to us. So kind of doing that refresher, especially now that we've been doing a majority of us tend to do that shadow work and all of that. Personally, me with the seasonal affective disorder, I do everything in reverse. I tend to do more study and such around this time. So, to be outside when the weather is decent, and looking at things that are coming back up, that we're sleeping in now, that are awakened. So, anyway, guys, that's my channeled message. So, peace, love, and light, guys.